Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 14045 Southeast Orient Drive here in Boring. We're located inside the guest house here currently. We're going to start with this one and then move over to the main home. So we're in the basement area of the guest home, going through 4-inch cast iron. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the line. Alright, we're going to zero out here, and I'm hoping we can get a distance. The tricky part with this clean out is the access. It's about 5-6 feet up in the air, and I'm up on a stool doing it, so we're hoping for a shorter line here. It's rather tricky already. Alright, we're going to have to call it here on the clean out access in the main, or I'm sorry, the guest house. The amount of turns that are in here are not letting my camera navigate the line. I've spent about 15-20 minutes just trying to get the camera to turn the right direction. I've even put a string on the end of my camera to try and bend it around the turn. So this is one where ideally you don't even do it by toilet pole. I'd rather see a clean out access put right here on the main line as the line exits the foundation. The toilet pole, depending on how long this line is, may not be a terribly successful point of access, and the rooftop on this house is incredibly steep, so that one's not happening. So we're going to give it a shot here for just a second longer, but we're very unlikely to get around this turn here. We're going to move over to the main house and scope that. You can see at this point here, I've actually got the camera aimed the right direction, and we're still not making a turn here. So I'll pull the camera out real quick and show where a clean out should be installed on this to bypass the turns. Alright, so if you're standing looking at the front door of this house, what I think is the front door anyway, or the side of the house that faces out kind of towards the rear of the property, back in the corner is where all the sewer comes and converges together. There's the clean out. If you were to install a clean out, I'd like to see it down here, a nice directional Y connection that forces everything outward in a straight line. This thing there's just too many turns. It's way too tight. You've got a 90, 45, 45, and another 90 here in about 2 feet. And you couple that with the roughness of cast iron, and even when I get the camera going the right direction, it still does not want to make that turn. So that comes down to if you're needing to drain clean a sewer line too, this does not really provide proper access to do either of those things. You could feasibly pull a toilet, but if this is a long line, 80, 100 feet, that may not even be adequate enough either. So I would recommend installing a clean out right here just before the line exits in this flat part of the sewer line, not up here on this vertical part. We're going to move over to the main house now. Alrighty, we have moved over here to the main home, going through 4-inch ABS. Now we're kind of at the rear left corner of the house. That's if you're standing all the way out on Orient Drive looking kind of at the front of the home here. We're next to this side of the driveway and garage. Alright, we're going to zero out right here at the bottom of the clean out. And off we go. We've definitely got some grease buildup in the line here. We'll see how that looks when the line's drained out at the end. But that's something you really want to avoid putting down your line, especially on septic. If you do it enough, the stuff floats to the top of the water, and it can get out into your distribution lines and clog your distribution lines up prematurely. And anyway, it's something you really want to avoid putting down your line, if possible. Alright, right here it appears we have reached the septic tank, and we're going to go ahead and drain the line out. We're going to go locate just to verify where we're at here. Aside from the grease buildup, the line itself here is looking pretty darn good. All right, located the camera head successfully. We are indeed at the septic tank, which is, the line passes underneath the driveway here, and kind of at the front left corner of the driveway, the tank lid's exposed. It terminates right at that spot. But yeah, I do recommend degreasing the sewer line, getting all the junk out of it. That would be ideal. Ideally, you do that before you pump the tank so you can pump all the junk out of it that you just knocked loose. That's the unfortunate part with septics, is when you clean junk out of them, it just ends up in your tank rather than going out into the main lateral, where it's the city's problem. Our line here is just about done draining. We're going to start reeling back in. And you really want to make sure you're not putting flushable wipes down these things. Flushable wipes are terrible. They're just about as bad as paper towels are. The only thing that should be going down this line, ideally, is folded toilet paper. Folded stuff flows through the line better. It breaks down easier once it hits the tank. Balled up toilet paper takes a lot longer to travel and break down. Got some minor standing water here. None of it is significant whatsoever. It's not even going on my report. You're talking like a 1/16 of an inch of water there for a couple feet. And we're going to flip the camera around here and go back into the home for a moment. Neck down the 3-inch pipe there. Also just trying to see how much grease buildup. And that's going to be as far as we go there. The line's necking down to a sink drain, 2-inch line. You definitely have some grease on the inside of the line here. You got standing water as well. It's minor. It's somewhere around a 1/4 inch of standing water, which in theory, standing water can lead to buildup and clogs. What I find in plastic pipe like this that has very smooth pipe walls is it's quite uncommon. The pipe walls are so smooth, unless, again, of course, they're coated in a 1/4 inch thick skiff of grease. The pipe walls are smooth, and they tend not to hang on to the debris, so if you do get a blockage, the water building up behind the debris will often break loose on its own due to the head pressure of that. So, anyway, the line itself here appears to be in good condition. I would highly recommend getting the grease buildup out of the sewer line and re-scoping, just to ensure that the grease buildup wasn't hiding anything from us. I doubted it is, but if nothing else, to check the work and make sure the grease has been removed from the sewer line, at least the main trunk line. And it's thicker on the exterior here than it is on the interior. As for the line appears to be in good shape. At this time, does have adequate flow to the main. It will have proper flow once the line has been cleaned out thoroughly. So this line is functioning at this time. It will function proper after a cleaning. And then again, over at the guest house, I recommend adding a clean out in. You can go the toilet pool route. What I don't know is how long the line is. If you hit a bunch of turns on the exterior and you have a 100-foot line out to a septic tank, that's where the toilet is not a great point of access. You got to go through a couple turns getting through a toilet. Not as bad as that clean out access, though. I think it would get you some distance. How far is hard to say. I'd rather see a clean out installed. That way you have an easy access point if you ever have to service the line, clear a blockage out, or something of that nature.